As the clock struck midnight across Asia, Japan and South Korea joined Auckland to welcome the new year with a blend of tradition, reflection, and modern spectacles. In Japan, the new year, one of the country's most important holidays, was marked by temple bells ringing out to symbolically clean the past year, while crowds gathered in cities like Tokyo to celebrate fresh beginnings. Meanwhile, in South Korea, thousands came together in Seoul to witness the iconic midnight bell ringing ceremony, a ritual that represents hope, resilience, and unity. Together, the scenes from Japan and South Korea offered a powerful reminder of how cultures welcome change, honoring tradition while looking confidently to the future. Now, these visuals, this footage you're seeing on your screen's live feed from the Philippines have also joined to welcome the new year 2026. There are other countries that will be joining as the time goes along, and hopefully Nigeria will be joining in a few minutes. But this live footage is from the Philippines. Look at the beautiful fireworks. And away from the welcome of the new year 2026 to politics, Labour Party's 2023 presidential candidate Peter Obi has officially joined the African Democratic Congress along with prominent leaders from the Southeast in Enugu State. Obi and the Southeast leaders said the move aims to strengthen the opposition and collaborate with other political actors to rescue Nigeria from the poor governance of the All Progressives Congress (APC). The event drew key figures, including former Deputy Speaker Emeka Ihedioha, Senators Ben Obi, Victor Ume, Tony Nwoye, Gilbert Naji, Enyinaya Baribe, Sam Egu, former Senate President and ADC National Chairman David Mark, and former Sokoto State Governor Aminu Tambuwal. Obi's supporters expressed optimism that the new alignment will enhance their influence ahead of the 2027 general elections. And still on politics, Abia State Governor Alex Oti has denied rumors that he plans to defect alongside the former Labour Party presidential candidate Peter Obi to the African Democratic Congress. Speaking during a December media chat at the Government House in Umuahia, Governor Oti said he has no intention of leaving the Labour Party for now. The governor also spoke about the performance report of the 2025 budget, which will be released in 2026. Mr. Oti also commended the Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives, Benjamin Kalu, for his support to small and medium-scale enterprises and vulnerable groups across Abia State.
I joined the Labour Party before Peter Obi. Okay, so I didn't join Labour Party with him, and he has communicated me that he was leaving Labour Party, and I gave him my blessings, but I remained in Labour Party, and I told him that I will have to continue the struggle to rescue Labour Party. That is the party that brought me to power. If we fight and get to the end, we can retrieve Labour Party, then we can now discuss options. But for now, I am not defecting with him. To see that he did that law and distributed rights and some money to vulnerable people. I thank you for doing that. And then I've also taken principled decision not to dignify all the comments he made with any response.
Okay, so I'm now being joined in the studio by Dr. Moses Paul, ADC chairmanship candidate for Abuja Municipal Area Council. Thank you for joining us, Dr. Paul.
Thank you.
Compliment of the season.
Yeah.
I know you're here to talk about the ADC and what's going on and the political space, but let me just ask you, where are you from?
I've been here for 40 years. I went to primary school here in Abuja, and I had my PhD here. So
wait, you've been in Abuja for 40 years?
About 40 years. Yes.
Abuja is not exactly as old as 40 years.
I mean, I've been here since 1988. Yeah, Abuja is.
My goodness.
Yes.
Well, let's get to this matter. So today, the former presidential candidate of the Labour Party joined the ADC. Yeah. Do you think that will make any difference in the rank and file of the ADC, for instance?
I mean, I think that the difference is the man. It's the message and the movement.
Okay.
Yeah, because Mr. Peter Obi has never been about the politics of convenience. He has always been about values.
Okay.
He has a proven record, of moral authority. He's about credibility. He's always been about compassion, consistency, integrity, prudence, where our physical, burdens are concerned, So that, for me, that's a real issue, because Nigerians, particularly with Mr. Peter Obi, they've grown beyond where we are as a people too. Nigerians are looking for platforms that allows for internal democracy, that allows for, values of politics and governance, to thrive. Where
would you say that the ADC is has that ideology? Because one of the issues about the political space in Nigeria has been about ideology.
That's right.
So does the ADC have share the same ideology with Peter Obi? Because you've talked about prudence, you've talked about service, you've talked about integrity. Mm-hmm. Is that the ideology of the ADC?
I mean, that Peter Obi's values did not start with any political party. And of course, it's not going to end with one, because we are evolving as a people. We do not have political parties like we have, for example, in the United States, where you have Democrats and Republicans who they stuck to that ideology for hundreds of years. But I can see that the ADC as a party is open to internal, democracy. It allows for some of the things that the other parties, do not give room for. And so it would be fair to say that it's evolving at a very good, time, and particularly with our country, where, of course, I don't need to, call names, but for what I see in the ADC, and also giving room for young people like myself, and so I can say that when you look at even their constitution, allowing for the PWD, allowing for women 35%, I mean, what is ideology? It could be on paper, but with what I see happening within the ADC right now, I can say that it's moving somewhere. And so to allow for that room is also why somebody like Mr. Peter Obi is there. But not just him. Nigerians are looking for any platform that will allow for them to, because the younger generation of Nigerians, which Mr. Peter Obi carries as a person, do not think that governance and politics is about sharing money. They don't think that it's about tribe. They don't think that it's about religion or class, but result-oriented.
There are those who are concerned that the movement, the way politicians are moving from one party to the other is not helping the democratic process in Nigeria.
That's right.
So with this now, what does that say of that process, the democratic process of building the party and then ensuring that the party stands? You mentioned the United States, where you have the Democrats and the Republicans. That cannot happen in Nigeria with this sort of movements. Or do you think it will?
No, we're still a very young country. If you in that context, we're talking about a country that has existed for over 300 years. I mean, I've been 20 countries around the world, and I've studied there. I've looked at, how they've evolved, from Indonesia and other places. And I can tell you that, yes, we could do a lot better, but we are. It will take some time, But what matters is the integrity of the the personalities right now. And so any platform that allows for these democratic ideals and values, Nigerians will jump into it. And that's what I see right now with the ADC.
All right, thank you so much. We've been speaking with Dr. Moses Paul, ADC chairmanship candidate, Abuja Municipal Area Council. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
I will wish you well in your elections.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll take a moment, and when we'll come back, we'll be looking at other stories. Join us again. Welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is the 6th edition. A look at our top stories. Auckland becomes world's first major city to celebrate New Year as global countdown to 2026 continues. Peter Obi dumps the Labour Party for the African Democratic Congress. And Mali, Burkina Faso impose reciprocal travel ban on US citizens. A fire outbreak has destroyed several shops at Arena Market in the Bolade area of Oshodi, Lagos State. The Lagos State Fire and Rescue Service says it received a distress call at about 5:50 p.m. on Tuesday, prompting the immediate deployment of firefighting teams to the scene. According to the service's controller, Margaret Adeshere, firefighters arrived promptly and engaged the blaze, which affected about 10 containerized shops, mainly used for clothing storage and sales. The fire was successfully contained within the affected section, preventing it from spreading to other parts of the market. Eyewitnesses praised the swift intervention of emergency responders, noting that no injuries or loss of life had been recorded as of the time of filing this report. In the meantime,
but when the fire started, then in this market generally they have a firefighter. But when the firefighter came, they tried to quench the light or whatever, but it is not even go well like that. Before we now call Lagos State emergency number, before they now bring their own Lagos State Fire Service. You hear? I don't want to be their own, but they all try their best.
In the meantime, it's been a week since the fire that gutted the Great Nigerian Insurance House on Martin Street, Balogun Market on Lagos Island. Emergency services are still on the ground, containing what remains of the fire as rescue efforts continue. News Central's correspondent Israel Eferobo is at the scene of the fire for the latest. Good evening, Israel. It's been a week since the fire at the Great Nigerian Insurance House. What's the latest update?
Well, certainly, we are back here again, still covering the ugly fire incident that happened here on Christmas Eve. Today, it is now a week since this incident happened, and the operations to try and see if there is anyone alive in that building is still ongoing. But one thing I can say for now is that there are traders all around the vicinity. They do not have access to that building, and buildings that were also affected around the Great Nigerian Insurance House, and they are asking for help, saying that there are people, their brothers, their family members are trapped in there. They went in there to get their goods when this happened, and they are asking the government to try and see what they can do to get them out as fast as possible, because according to them, time is of the essence. Well, I have someone here who has got people trapped in there. Should we just go ahead now, come in here and speak to us about this particular incident? Thank you for talking to us. I know this is a very difficult time for you. Tell us your name and who you are here.
My name is Chidima Catherine. I own one of the shops here. I do business here. Please, I have people trapped in here. My friend, my family, I have over 4 people trapped in here. And I've been around here for days. Since this incident, I've been around here morning, afternoon, night. They are not doing anything. Actually, I'm begging. I'm not being authoritative, neither am I commanding anybody. I'm only begging. They should just give me either alive or dead. I'm okay, but at least I need my people. My people are trapped here for days. So many of them, too many. If as of yesterday, we have over 20-something families here waiting for their people, but nothing, no work is going on. They are not doing anything. According to these people, they said we should go and pack sand. How are we going to pack sand? If I should pack this sand, is that what I'm going to take home? To how many families? To how many people? This is me begging the governor of Lagos State, please, from Facebook, when we are trying to tag you to at least help us, you said we should reach out to Julius Berger. We do not have that authority. It is you, my governor, that will use your good office to help us. Please call Julius Berger for us. We are begging. I personally am begging, please, if not for anything, for the sake of the people that I have in here, please, help us. We are begging. Thank you, Nigerians. Oh.
So, sympathize with you. We understand how you feel right now. Nothing can quantify the loss of a loved one. But tell us, when was the last time that you got any form of contact with your people in there?
On Thursday.
Say again?
Thursday. On Thursday morning.
How did you communicate to them? How did you receive the message?
This person was calling for help. I think the person is stuck in here, this underground floor. There's some people there, they are stuck there. They were sending a message that we should please come and help them. But then there is little to nothing we can actually do. The only thing we are asking is the government to help us. Maybe by now they might not, because I believe by now their phone might have run down. At least they should be able to open this place. Please, we are begging. People are trapped in there. I have two brothers, trapped in there. Please help us. I'm begging. Please. Hey.
Well, thank you very much for talking to us. I'm quite sure that this will get to the right authorities. Thank you very much. Well, there you go. That's just a cry for help, basically. The agony of a family member. There are mothers, fathers, brothers, and sisters, all gathered here, waiting to hear some kind of word, information about their loved ones believed to be trapped in that building. We do not know just how soon this help can come, but from what you see on your screen, there is an excavator here trying to dig through the rubble, but it's just one excavator, and we don't know really. But this is a situation here right now at Martin Street, Balogun Market, where the fire incident happened on Christmas Eve, and up until now, there is still pockets of fire in this particular building and those around as well. It's still an active scene, and indeed the people here are asking the government for help, and they say that help should come now and very, very fast. It is back to you in the studios.
Our correspondent Israel Eferowo was in that scene earlier today, just before the news started at 6 p.m. But from raging market infernos to deadly tanker explosions, 2025 has been scarred by a wave of preventable fires and blasts across Nigeria, leaving lives lost, livelihoods ruined, and urgent questions about safety and enforcement. Now, here's a breakdown of fire outbreaks in Nigeria for the year 2025. As many of them as we can remember. In Sokoto State, 21st of January, Sokoto Timber Market, an electrical surge ignited a massive 2-day blaze, wiping out over 560 shops and paralyzing the regional timber trade. On March 11, 2025, at Leshinloe Market, an unattended refuse fire spread to the textile section, destroying 50 stores and millions in premium fabrics. On the 19th of May 2025, the Jos Terminal Market, a midnight structural fire flattened over 500 makeshift shops, leaving thousands of traders without a livelihood. On July the 2nd, 2025, Onitsha Main Market, lightning and power surges during heavy rains triggered a fire that destroyed billions in high-end electronics. In Suleja, October 15, a tanker explosion, a fuel truck crashed and turned deadly when locals gathered to scoop fuel. The resulting blast killed over 100 people. On December 1, Kofa Sauri, a high-voltage surge razed a home in Katsina, tragically claiming the lives of an entire family of 5. On December the 3rd, 2025, Jabi Wood Market, a rapid spread inferno tore through Abuja's wood hub, destroying millions in raw timber and industrial machinery. On the 24th of December, Balogun Market, that story. A Christmas Eve fire in a 25-story high-rise killed 5 people and incinerated billions in stored textile cargo. The Badagry Expressway on December the 25th. A Christmas morning tanker explosion claimed 2 lives and left a survivor with severe burns after a highway crash. On December the 30th, that was yesterday, the Arena Market, faulty wiring sparked a late-night fire in Oshodi, destroying 10 major shopping containers filled with clothing bales. Sad stories around fire. But let's leave that for a moment and go on and talk about politics this time in Kano. The All Progressives Congress APC in Kano State has invited Governor Abba Yusuf to consider joining the ruling party amid growing defection talks. The state's APC chairman Abdullahi Abbas, who spoke on behalf of the former party's national chairman Abdullahi Umar Ganduje, said the move is aimed at promoting political unity and stability in the state. Meanwhile, the New Nigeria People's Party, NNPP, has urged Governor Yusuf to remain with the party following an internal crisis that saw several top members expelled. In the meantime, the national leader of the New Nigeria People's Party, Senator Rabiu Kwankwaso, has warned party members against defecting, insisting that political betrayal does not guarantee lasting success. Kwankwaso gave the warning during a meeting with supporters at his residence amid reports that some NNPP figures may be considering leaving the party. The remarks come against the backdrop of speculation that Kano State Governor Abba Kabir Yusuf could defect from the Kwankwasia movement to the ruling All Progressives Congress. The former Kano State government maintained that such moves would not weaken the NNPP, stressing that the party's strength lies in its grassroots support, not in individual politicians. He pointed to the large turnout at the meeting as proof that the NNPP continues to enjoy widespread backing across Kano State. I'm now being joined by Ladipo Johnson, National Publicity Secretary of the NNPP, and he joins us virtually. Thank you for joining us, Mr. Johnson.
Thanks for having me. Good evening.
Good evening. So let's start out with this question about the particular chairman of Kano NNPP, Hashimu Dugunra, who was suspended and replaced by an acting chairman. Now, that paints a picture that there is instability in the Kano state arm of the NNPP. What do you have to say about this?
Yes, unfortunately, some members of his ward got together and said that they had suspended him. And then some people within the state said they had appointed someone else. But we issued a statement stating that we didn't recognize that. That was against our constitution. Our constitution is different from that of other parties. You cannot have a ward suspend a state officer in our constitution. Unfortunately, for those who carried the failed coup d'etat out, they didn't follow the constitution of the party. So we have made that clear, and Dogoraba remains the state chairman of Kano State.
Okay, but what does this say of the relationship between the state chairman, the governor, and the national leader, Mr. Kwankwaso? What does it say about the relationship between these three?
Well, I think that it is clear that there are different opinions at the moment. Majority of the party, especially at the national level, majority of the party remains together and are considering and working towards building bridges towards 2027. We have done a lot, meetings at advanced stages, but then there are some, might include the governor, who want to join the APC. Now, we do not, whilst we say do not go. Let us sit down. Let's talk. Let's see what it is, what we can work out. If it is their will or their wish to go, then you cannot stop them. But the bottom line is that you do not try to carry out illegalities like removing a state chairman illegally and trying to state that you're all moving.
Okay, so
in fact, some people. Yes, sir.
Okay, just before we go, we're almost out of time. I was just going to ask you if you can elaborate on the building bridges. You talked about meetings here and there. You want to give some insight into some of these bridges that you're building?
I think, yes. I think all I can say now is that, yes, I'm the spokesman of the party, but at this stage, as I said, things are at an advanced stage. And I believe that the national chairman, within the next 2-3 weeks of January, will let, having met, after he's met with the National Working Committee and possibly the National Executive Committee, will let Nigerians know what marriages, to use that phrase, we would be consummating towards 2027. Definitely, we're working on positive things, and the generality of our members will be happy, I believe, personally, when the I's have been dotted and the T's crossed, and we come up with what has happened. We have done a lot of work. The party has done a lot of work, and hopefully
the work that the party is doing,
a new chapter.
Okay, Dr. Johnson, the work that the party is doing, would it also help to ease the crisis within the Kano Emirate?
Well, the crisis within the Kano Emirates are squarely in the hands of the APC. I've always said that. And I'm sure that they will continue to do their best to use that to cause confusion. But as elections come, they will know that all these moves they've made, the people of Kano will repay them at the ballot box. It's a simple thing. I keep telling people that 2027 is about the people against the politicians, not about the fact that you've tried to weaken the opposition.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you very much. We've been speaking with the National Publicity Secretary of the New Nigeria People's Party, Mr. Ladipo Johnson. Thank you for joining us. We'll take another break, and when we return, we'll be looking at security in 2025, a retrospective. Do join us. Welcome back. It is the last day of 2025, and this year, Nigeria has faced lots of challenges in the security space. It's in a mixed bag of Nigeria's security forces, which has constantly faced threats from non-state actors across the country. News Central's Victor Mbadike reports that despite the reforms and huge budget allocations, many Nigerians believe that the improvements are not matching their expectations. His report.
I assure all of you that we will, defeat terrorism in this country.
The president's promise to tackle insecurity continues to face scrutiny as realities on the ground paint a far more complicated picture. From renewed insurgency in the northeast and northwest to the rise of new armed groups like Lakurawa, Nigeria's security landscape remains deeply fragile. Boko Haram and ISWAP still hold remote communities under threat. In the last few weeks alone, hundreds of persons were abducted across Kebbi, Niger, Kwara, and Zamfara states, mostly from schools, which has led to the immediate closure of 47 unity schools.
Babu zaman lafiya. A gidana kuma babu zaman lafiya. Saboda do gidana ma gaba ɗaya rikice.
Other regions are grappling with brutal coordinated attacks by heavily armed criminals. The Yelwalta massacre in Benue State is among the recent incidents that sent shockwaves across the country. In the southeast, atrocities involving members of the proscribed IPOB and its Eastern Security Network have continued, along with the group's Monday sit-at-home enforcement.
So many people are agitating. The southeast, I'm telling you as a traditional ruler, there's some where you go now and say anything against Nnamdi Kanu, they will mob you. They will give him a free hand to calm the people down. I don't think he will go as he went before with the agitation.
We are under attack. This is Sambisa.
Despite a major rise in defense spending, many Nigerians continue to question whether the money is reaching where it matters most.
Budgeting for security agencies or security in Nigeria is complicated. It's not just about the funds have been budgeted for, so the agencies will get the releases and procure what they need to tackle security challenges. However, it's important to state that increasing allocation to military or for security reasons, for security agencies or expenditure is important. But what the trend in Nigeria shows is that the higher the expenditure goes, the more number of occurrence we have when it comes to insecurity situation, which is unfortunate. However, all the security agencies are doing their best to ensure that they prevent security incidents from occurring, and it is difficult for us to count the ones that they prevented.
Beyond the money, the administration also approved harmonized salary increases for security personnel and expanded police recruitment by 50,000. These steps follow recent rescue successes by security agencies. The president has ordered police withdrawn from VIP escorts to boost frontline policing and approved DSS-trained forest guards to target criminal hideouts. Officials said the country is beginning to reclaim previous lost territory, even as challenges remain.
We have challenges of banditry, we have challenges of insecurity, particularly in our border, cross-border, in our border areas, and some of it has cascaded down to the middle belt, and it's something that the government has been working on. Sometimes with a lot of success. Sometimes we have setbacks due to exogenous factors, not due to something that we're doing wrong.
But just as signs of progress emerged, a resurgence of violence has unsettled several regions. Targeted attacks on Christian communities have triggered global reactions, with US President Donald Trump threatening sanctions and warning military actions in Nigeria.
The U.S. can play a constructive role, but it must avoid selective intervention and address the concerns of all Nigerians across all religions to prevent worsening sectarian divisions. 2, it's important to rethink reactive quick-win actions that may seem beneficial to Nigerians, but could have larger and far-reaching negative impacts.
Recently, President Bola Tinubu also changed his service chiefs, a move intended to reset strategy and inject fresh leadership into the nation's security command structure. He has also enlisted the services of former Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa, appointing him as Minister of Defense, a move he says highlights his determination to confront Nigeria's security challenges head-on.
The enemies we are dealing with are evil forces that don't mean this country well. And they have no respect for human life. And that's why it's important for us to know that if we don't work together, we'll give them the opportunity to continue to perpetrate the evil acts they've been doing. I pledge to give my best in ensuring that Nigeria is secure and safe.
Non-kinetic approaches should not be hinged on negotiating with bandits from a position of weakness. It should be from a position of strength. And lastly, non-kinetic approaches involves creation of jobs, provision of healthcare and education in communities who do not have this.
For now, Nigerians watch and hope that 2026 brings stability as security agencies intensify their operations to restore peace nationwide. In Lagos for News Central, Victor Mbadike.
I'm now being joined in the studio by a security strategy expert, Dr. Hassan Sadiq. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me again.
I understand that today is your birthday.
Yes.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
This matter of Nigeria's security 2025 is out. We can't go back. We just have a few hours before the 2026 New Year. What do you think? I mean, we heard the Minister of Defense say during his screening that he will give his best. Is it enough that he is giving his best? What about the issue of funding? I mean, this is the highest level of funding this defense sector in Nigeria has seen in a very long while. What do you think?
Well, from the Minister of Defense, it's not giving the best. I call it give what is expected, because his best might not be enough to solve the issue. I say so for the background that 2025 is a challenging insecurity for the nations, from the government, the political aspect, and the armed forces, and painful to the individual who are directly involved. Because there was lack of proactive approach into the issue of insecurity and political angle to it.
I like the way you came in. He should not just give his best. He should give what is expected. So what is expected? Because right now, he's like the arrowhead in that structure.
Yes.
So what is expected from the defense sector?
Yes, he is the Minister of Defense. The armed forces is quite different. He represents Mr. President at the political level. Now, it is good because of his past experience being a foot soldier and now on the civilian side. That is where it is a good thing. But where the issue is what strategy are the armed forces are going to use to fight the insecurity? As I've always said, what is the level of our offensive capability? That 2025 is so challenges, but the end of it has also shows it is possible due to the manner, the synergy with Nigeria and America. On one drop, that is why I said it is hope. Meaning, the American armed forces over time has developed defensive, offensive capability. This is what has now played the role.
But you also know that some people have been asking for more of the non-kinetic strategy.
Yes.
Now, one of our respondents advised that the non-kinetic strategy should not be about negotiation. It should be about it should be from other angles of maybe job creation, infrastructure provision. Do you think that's the way to go in terms of non-kinetic?
Yes, from the angle of holistic approach. Non-kinetic is how a country over time has developed the citizens, the youth, because in Nigeria we have already made army. I call them already made army. With a little amount of money, they are ready to fire. So when you don't engage them in a positive manner, it is easy for non-state actors to use them. That is why I call it already made army. So these are where non-kinetic can be able to work, whereby you have to create job. If you take the far north, make sure from age are well educated, they should have that level of educations. Then where skill acquisitions that can be able to engage them in a meaningful instead of something differently. So this is where non-kinetic approach can come in. And for now, we are far from it.
Let's look at 2026. So this is now, what would you advise the government to do in terms of strategy and the defense area, the security arm, what to do in 2026?
Yes.
I mean, 1st January,
yes.
What should they do? Hit the ground running.
Yes.
What should they do?
The first thing they could have done, the end of the year, which is December 25th, where the collaborations within Nigeria and America in terms of fighting the ICC. they should continue in that trajectory to able to bring it to the barest minimum, which we can set January, February, March. We should have 70% achievement, whereby Northeast, Northwest, North Central, we have been able to bring all those issues of insecurity, the hideout, to a level where for them to come together again will be difficult. Then at that time, we can now start thinking, how do we sustain it? That is why I keep on saying that in every military operation, there must be timeline. And what does it involve? So these are where, since we have now agreed to work with America because they have what it takes. What America is using today is just what I call offensive capability. Because the Thomas Hawk they are using is not from America. It's still within the African Command, which is in Stuttgart, that they look at it, the Navy vessel they are using to bring out those things. These are what we call offensive capability. You are taking the fight to them. Now, these guys are on the run because they know something bigger than them, greater, is on the way. So this is why you can now see Trump can now boast that it is only America who can do it.
All right. Thank you so much. We've been speaking with Dr. Hassan Sadiq, security strategy expert. Thank you for coming in this evening.
Thank you for having me.
And beyond the shores of Nigeria, Mali and Burkina Faso have announced reciprocal visa restrictions for U.S. citizens following travel limits recently imposed by Washington. The two West African countries say U.S. nationals will now face the same entry conditions that Americans placed on Malian and Burkinabe passport holders. Each country's foreign ministry issued separate statement emphasizing that the decision is based on the principle of reciprocity. The move comes after President Donald Trump expanded U.S. travel restrictions on December 16, adding nearly 20 countries to a list whose citizens face limits or bans on entering the United States. Guinea's Electoral Commission has declared military leader Mamadi Doumbouya president-elect following December 28 presidential election. During elections, Director Iter Doumbouya secured 86.72% of the vote, with voter turnout placed at 80.95%. The 41-year-old came to power in a 2021 military coup and had earlier pledged not to contest the presidency during the country's transition to civilian rule. His victory follows an election in which key opposition figures were barred from participating, prompting criticisms that the process was aimed at legitimizing continued military-backed governance.
Total inscrits 6 768 458. Total votants sur les listes d'émargement 5 448 191. Total de votants par dérogation 160 329. Total votants 5 608 520. Taux de participation.
Russian President Vladimir Putin has expressed confidence that Russia will prevail in the war in Ukraine, now nearing its fourth year. Putin made the remarks in his traditional New Year address, broadcast nationwide on Wednesday, as Russia's various time zones ushered in 2026. He urged Russians to continue supporting what he described as our heroes on the front lines, telling troops and citizens alike that the country believes in victory. The Russian leader also sent special New Year greetings to soldiers and commanders fighting in Ukraine, noting that millions of Russians are thinking of them. However, critics argue that Moscow's claims of impending victory stand in contrast to a prolonged conflict with no clear end in sight. And Israel is set to suspend the licenses of 37 international aid organizations operating in Gaza and the occupied West Bank from January 1, a move that has drawn strong reactions from the United Kingdom and the European Union. Under the directive, affected organizations have been asked to wind down their operations within 60 days. The decision targets several groups providing critical services, including healthcare, shelter, water, and food assistance. Israeli authorities say the organizations failed to comply with new registration requirements, including the submission of full staff details. Aid groups, however, warn that such disclosures could put humanitarian workers at risk. The UK, several European countries, and the European Union have cautioned that the move could severely restrict life-saving assistance to vulnerable populations in Gaza. Israel insists humanitarian aid will continue through approved channels and maintains that the decision will not disrupt overall aid delivery to the territory. Nigeria's domestic airline market saw a contraction in December 2025, with available seat capacity falling to 850,420. That's according to OAG's Africa's aviation market data. These represent a 7.5% year-on-year decline from 919,400 seats in December 2024, placing Nigeria among the steepest declines across major African markets. In contrast, South Africa retained its position as the continent's largest domestic market, recording a 6.9% increase, while Kenya and Tanzania posted a growth of 8.6%, while 27% respectively. North African markets also expanded, notably Algeria and Morocco. Cape Verde reported the fastest growth, while Ethiopia and the Democratic Republic of Congo experienced capacity declines. Let's go on and take a bit of sports. Super Eagles fans have reacted positively to Nigeria's dominant group stage display at the Africa Cup of Nations, expressing confidence ahead of the knockout rounds. Fans praised the team's balance, squad depth, and growing cohesion, noting improved attacking sharpness and defensive solidity. The perfect record has boosted belief among supporters that the Super Eagles are building momentum at the right time as attention now turns to the round of 16.
Up Super Eagles, wonderful game, solid game. Honestly, I feel like we could have scored more if we wanted to, but solid results, and the fact that we got to try out our other players, everyone just fill up the squad, everyone feels united. Round of 16, here we come, and I think we're going all the way, honestly, AFCON this year.
My friend Mehdi, and we are very happy to support Nigeria. Yes. We will also next round, inshallah. And you're welcome here, guys, and wish you all the best in this cup, inshallah. Why am I supporting Nigeria? Basically, because I love Nigeria. They are friendly, they are good people, and I love Africa. I love all African people. So, in fact, I support Nigeria and Uganda and all African nations I'm with.
Well, that's a good one. And some other good news. Our guy on ground, Udoka, who was supposed to be with us but he couldn't make it, has gotten his luggage, I believe, by now. We'll let you know about that subsequently. But that's all on the 6th edition, the last edition for the year 2025. But here's a recap of the major stories. We told you that Auckland became one of the world's first major cities to celebrate New Year as global countdown to 2026 continued. Also that Peter Obi has joined the African Democratic Congress, leaving the Labour Party. We also told you that Mali and Burkina Faso has imposed reciprocal travel bans on US citizens. So 2025 is winding down. You're going to 2026. Let us hear what's going on around you. Send us your eyewitness report to the WhatsApp number showing on your screen. Follow us on social media. We are at News Central TV. You can watch News Central live on DSTV channel 422, GoTV channel 23, Star Times channel 274, Avo TV, and YouTube. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next year. Yeah, that's tomorrow. I'm Neo Taigwe. Bye-bye. And a Happy New Year to you from all of us here, myself and the crew.